my name is Ashley Scher. I'm the founder and CEO of ShareLove.Fund. Today we are in the beautiful yoga studio of Presence Wellness. Peter Iacobello is our lead trainer. We are in Westport, Connecticut. I'm going to knock my socks off before we get started here, and we are going to learn how to cue someone in and out of yogic sleep pose. So Peter, I'm all yours. I will start in easy seat, Sukhasana.
So before you do these poses, you would warm up, obviously. Hi, my name is Peter Iacobello. And yogic sleep pose, or Yoganidrasana. So don't get confused with Yoga Nidra, because this pose has nothing to do with Yoga Nidra. But it's called Yoganidrasana, and it's one of the 84 poses of the traditional Hatha Yoga text. And also part of, not necessarily you have to do it, but part of, just so you know about it, of their 300-hour advanced yoga teacher training through ShareLove.Fund. So with that said, let's start in a nice comfortable seat, easy pose, which is not so easy sometimes. So what we like to do in easy pose is find our center. We do that by having our shoulders over our hips, lifting up through the crown of the head, pulling the belly in and up. Belly in and up to support our spine. And then envision ourselves in the pose. Envision ourselves in the pose. When you can envision yourself in the pose, you may be able to achieve it a little further or go a little bit further than you think you can. Or, as yoga teaches us, to move outside of our comfort zone. I would consider this pose a back bend heart opener, part of that series because of the way it is. And there are many different ways to get into it, but however, we're going to choose the most basic way to get into it. But first, what I'd like to do is just warm up Ashley's hips a little bit before we get into it. So we're gonna do a couple of minute hip sequence. So Ashley, when you're ready, I'm gonna ask you to come into tabletop. And when you arrive in tabletop, have your toes tucked so your calves begin to stretch. And let's just do a few rounds of cat-cows. Open up our spine, lower back, mid-back. Beautiful, just a couple more rounds. Okay, now come to a neutral spine. And then from here, tuck your toes under, inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, down dog. Just creating flexibility in the hips. Just think about flexibility. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, down dog. Now, in your down dog, lower your heels, lift your toes. No, the other way. Yeah, there you go, the other lifting of the toes. Lift the toes to get stretched. Where? In the calves, right? Hamstrings, you feel this tremendous stretch in your calves and hamstrings with this, Ashley? Okay, lower the toes down. Inhale, rise up high into your tippy toes. Now, exhale, lower your heels. Bend your right knee. Keep your left leg nice and straight. No, keep it on the floor. Bend your right knee, keep your left leg straight.
Yes, I know. I'm just having a technical outfit situation. So we're going to tuck this in, keep this G-rated, and bring in.
No, keep your right, keep both feet on the ground. Just bend your right knee. Now straighten out your left and lower that left heel down by lifting the toes of the left heel. Press your chest towards your knees. Beautiful. You feel like big stretch in your hamstring?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Now, bend your left, lower the right. Press your chest towards your knees.
So we can call this walking the dog or leaning in.
Leaning in, walking the dog. We're also warming Ashley up a little bit more than regular because of the extreme nature, the extreme back bend of this pose we're about to do. Now from here, lower both heels down, lift the toes. Beautiful. Now from here, inhale forward to plank. Exhale, drop the knees, come into child's pose. Legs apart in this child's pose, width of the mat. Now, from here, Send your hips towards your heels. So lower your hips down and extend your arms forward. Tent your fingers as if you had a ball in each hand. Lift your elbows. Yes. Keep lifting the elbows. Keep sending your hips back, reaching your arms forward. So you get that stretch in your arms, triceps. Now see if you can press your hips down to your heels a bit more and extend your arms forward to create stretch in your upper and lower back, mid-back. Beautiful. Couple of breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale. And slowly on the exhale, slide your hands beneath the shoulders. Press yourself up into tabletop. Make your way onto your back. Hug your knees to chest.
Oh, I just
Okay.
slipped in a cat cow.
That's okay. Always good to
That
slip
was a
in a cat
bonus.
cow. Always good to slip in a cat cow.
Okay, knees to chest.
Knees to chest. Now from here, with knees to chest, let's cross your right knee over your left knee. Again, we're going to continue to stretch to open you up just a bit more. Reach for the opposite ankles. And then splay your legs out to the sides and then pull down.
And stretching is really the key to safe yoga and avoiding injury. Sometimes it's a race to nowhere. So if you hurry up and you get into the pose quickly and you pull something, then you're out of pocket for a while. So
Yes, exactly.
sometimes the tortoise wins the race. So we're doing slow.
Now,
Slow.
uncoil the legs. Left knee over right. Reach. Good, good. So we're getting the outer hips to stretch, and then we're going for after the inner thighs afterwards. Hold that for a few breaths. And then from here, actually, uncoil the legs. And then come into a happy baby. However, in happy baby, you want the legs straight. So straighten out the legs. Now, press your sacrum down. Lift your head. Tuck your chin. Now, press your sacrum down and then drop the back of the head. Beautiful. That stretch is tremendous in your hamstrings, right? So it's a little bit more than a downward facing dog. Good job, Ashley. Good job. And then from here, draw the feet together. Lower the feet down to earth. Press your feet down onto the ground with your knees bent. And then from here, lift your hips up toward the sky. So opening up the front of the hips out, reaching under with the hands to stretch out your chest. So we're already doing the back bend aspect of it. Breathe here now. Shift your weight forward into your, yes, good, into the balls of your feet. Now you feel your thighs stretching a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Lift your chin to breathe just a bit. Now lift your chest more and send your knees forward just a bit more. Good. Reach under, clasp the hands, the heels of the hands together as well. Yes, get the stretch into the chest. So talk about warmed up. You see the face is nice and red there for the camera, ladies and gentlemen, in YouTube land. All right,
It's
now.
real life.
It's real life, exactly. So from here, actually release the hold of the hands and then lower the hips to earth. Hug your knees to chest again and just hold here. Take a few breaths. Now envision yourself in this pose. Envision yourself in Yoganidrasana. Yoganidrasana. Or yogic pose. Yogic sleep pose, they call this. Breathe here, Ashley. Just take a few more breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now from here, come into a happy baby. And then in this happy baby, imagine pressing your sacrum down to the earth. And then from here, let's take the elbows on the inside of the inner thighs if you can. Just reach for whatever you can. Inner thighs, inner thighs. And then, yes, now press your knees out a little away from the midline and then see if you can have the knees come down. Like grab the feet so the knees can come down a bit more. No, no, no. Right to the outsides of the legs. Pull the knees down like in Happy Baby. Yeah, yes, a little further down, yes. Good, there you go. Very good.
So basically, I'm not that flexible here, but if someone could, they would, have a knee down to the ground.
Yep.
You can get a little deeper into the stretch if you kind of do one side at a time.
So as a matter of fact, what I'd like to do is show them how one side looks, all right? And then maybe what we can do is just show them the picture. I'll put the picture in front of the camera and we'll show them how the picture looks. So what I'd like you to do is take your left hand on the inside of your leg.
We have a picture in the course, so
Okay, cool.
I think that it's fine.
Bring your left hand on the inside of the leg. Left hand, yes. No, and then you're going to reach under. Yes, 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 yes. You can wave hello with your foot.
Hi.
And then if Ashley had the flexibility, she could begin to bring that leg
This
behind the
foot
head.
Behind the head.
So that's extreme flexibility.
It
And
would be like, it's splits and bloopers and all, but it would be like basically both legs behind the head, but laying down.
yes, and not, just so you know, no matter how
And then
flexible you
like
are,
this.
not everyone can do this. So I don't recommend, this pose is not for everyone. It's for extremely, they call
What?
bendy people or extreme, or people that have what's called, oh my goodness. It's like very flexible.
I'm
very,
going to help you out. So what is for everyone is to have a strong foundation in yoga, to understand where yoga came from, to understand the 84 original classical hatha yoga poses. So that is the purpose of us doing this today, is to have a deep foundation of the origins, because as you know, there are thousands of yoga poses, but it all came from the 84 classical yoga poses. So, Happy Baby came from this
Yes.
yogic sleep pose.
Yes.
And so we can think of Happy Baby as a modern modification of this that's a little more practical for most people's bodies.
Yes. So I was thinking of the word hypermobile. People are hypermobile. So you did one. Now let's just bring your feet back again. Use your arms to bring your feet back again. Now take your hands just on the inside of the thighs for a moment.
I'm just gonna take it away.
So you can show another version of Happy Baby. Yeah, there you go. That's another version of it as well. And if you like, you can also begin to take your hands and turn your elbows, wrap them under. Yes. So this is a modification or a modified version of this pose. So if Ashley was able to bring her head behind, her legs behind her head,
Good.
her head would be
That
lifted.
way.
Exactly.
You can kind of play around with that, but obviously you're trying to keep your sacrum down. So.
Exactly. So,
But it's
and to
fun
come
to
out of
roll
this,
around.
if you are in the extreme of this pose, to come out of it, I would come back into Happy Baby. Take a few breaths in your Happy Baby. And then what I would do here is I'd bring your hands closer together, almost in prayer pose, and then lower your feet to earth. Lift your hips up, because it's always good to counter a back bend. Always good to counter it. Sorry, that was a forward fold, not back bend. My fault. Forward. That was a forward bend. This is a back bend. And then now unclasp the hands and begin to walk the feet out as you lower your hips toward the earth. And just come into a savasana for a few moments. So just so people don't get confused, I'm going to throw this out there. This is another version of yogic sleep pose. So in hatha yoga, there are two yogic sleep poses, believe it or not. This is the other one. Yogic sleep pose or Yoganidrasana. There's two versions. However, our version is the version that we did first. So some people call this yogic sleep pose or corpse pose or savasana. But we're not going to get this confused with the Yoganidrasana that we just did.
So I think that people in this day and age calling this yogic sleep pose is because the other pose we were demonstrating is not for everyone. By studying the original, we now understand how yoga has evolved.
Exactly.
So traditionally, the pose of relaxation was more of an upright meditation pose. But, you know, as we sort of have become less fit, this is a good one for us too.
Or less extreme.
Yes, less extreme. As we become busier.
Yes. And then now from here, I'm going to slowly ask you to draw your knees in towards your chest. Come over onto your right side. And gently press yourself up into a seated position. Come back to where we started. Her hips are a little bit more open. Her face is a little bit more lively. That knee is a little bit further down than when we first started in our easy pose. And then draw your hands to heart center, bowing your chin to chest. In honor of you taking the time to do this and then demonstrate that amazing pose, showing off your amazing flexibility, because I sure cannot do that.
Peter, thank you so much for your time. For all of our teacher trainees, I want to say this is a classic example of showing that cueing isn't just stand up straight, bend over, do this or that. Part of really safely cueing is cueing the warm-up, cueing the transition into, but also out of the pose. You know, I often say it's like putting a cat in a tree. That's cool that you got the cat up there, but how are you going to get the cat out? So thank you so much, Peter, for taking us through the full circle today. Namaste.
Namaste.